Hey, welcome back to the channel. I want to start today with a question. Have you ever noticed people acting strangely around you, even when you haven't said a word? Maybe they act distant, or they seem nervous or defensive. It might seem odd, but I'm here to tell you that it's not because you're dangerous. It's actually because your presence, discipline, and calmness can unintentionally make them feel threatened or insecure. Now, you might be wondering, how could my presence, something that feels natural to me, make others feel this way? Well, the truth is, it happens more often than you think. In this video, we're going to dive into 7 signs that you might be unknowingly making people feel intimidated. These signs are subtle, and you might not even be aware of them. Let's take a look and see if you recognize any of these patterns. Ready to dive in? 1. They over-explain everything. Let's start with the first sign. They over-explain everything. Have you ever noticed someone giving you long-winded explanations, almost justifying every single detail of their actions? It can be anything from explaining a simple task to justifying their opinions. And while you may think they're just being thorough, there's a deeper reason behind this behavior. People who feel intimidated by your presence might do this because they feel judged or under scrutiny. It's not that you're doing anything overtly intimidating. It's your quiet, confident demeanor that unintentionally puts them on edge. They feel like they have to defend themselves constantly, even when there's no reason to. You don't even have to say anything, but your presence sends a message that they need to explain themselves. The key here is that people who are confident in themselves don't need to over-explain. They say what they need to say, and they leave it at that. So, when you exude confidence, some people might feel the need to keep talking to fill the space or justify themselves. 2. They avoid eye contact. This next one is pretty common. They avoid eye contact. You might notice that some people don't look you in the eye or seem to avert their gaze when they're talking to you. While this might seem like a sign of rudeness or shyness, it's actually more about how they feel around you. You may have a strong, steady gaze that reflects your confidence and calmness, but for someone who feels insecure or threatened, that can be overwhelming. They might feel exposed, as if you're reading them like an open book. The simple act of maintaining eye contact can make them feel vulnerable. It's like your calm focus shines a spotlight on their discomfort, and that makes them want to look away. Now, here's a little thing to keep in mind. Being aware of how people react to your gaze can help you understand the effect you're having on them. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just shows that your presence is powerful. 3. They get defensive over small things. The third sign is when they get defensive over small things. People who feel intimidated might become defensive over trivial matters. Maybe you've noticed someone snapping back or getting upset about something that really isn't a big deal. This often happens when they sense a lack of control around you. Your calm and composed demeanor might highlight their own insecurity, causing them to react more strongly than they normally would. Think of it like this. When you're at peace with yourself and grounded, it forces others to confront their own internal struggles. They might start questioning themselves or feeling like they're being compared, even when that's not your intention. This defensiveness is a coping mechanism to protect their own sense of self, but it's also a sign that your presence is making them feel out of their element. 4. They try to compete with you. Here's another subtle sign. They try to compete with you, even when you're not competing. This is interesting because you might not have any intention of competing with anyone at all. But your drive, ambition, and sense of purpose can inadvertently trigger others to compete with you. They might feel like they need to prove themselves or outdo you, not because you've said or done anything to encourage competition, but simply because your ambition and self-assurance challenge them. This happens when your quiet confidence triggers something in them, a desire to level up, to match your energy. It's not about rivalry. It's about how your presence makes them feel like they need to rise to your level. That's the power of a quietly confident person. You don't have to say a word, but your energy alone can inspire others to compete. 5. They mimic your actions. Next, we have they mimic your actions. Have you noticed that sometimes people start mirroring your movements, your speech, or even your gestures? While this might seem flattering, it's actually a sign of influence. People don't mimic others unless they're influenced by them in some way. And if they're trying to mirror you, it's because they find something in you that they want to emulate. This could be your calm demeanor, your confidence, or the way you carry yourself. It's important to remember that this is a form of respect. When people mimic your actions, they're not doing it because they feel threatened. They're doing it because they admire something about you. You become a role model to them, whether they realize it or not. 6. Others warn people. Before talking to you, have you ever overheard someone say something like, "Oh, he's intense," or "Be careful, she doesn't tolerate nonsense"? These kinds of warnings are common when others feel a bit of fear or nervousness around you. These comments may sound like respect, but they're often masking fear. When people warn others about you before they interact, it's usually because they sense that your presence commands authority. They respect you, but they're also a little intimidated by your focus and discipline. It's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it's a sign that you've built a reputation for being someone who stands strong. But understanding this dynamic can help you navigate relationships more effectively. 7. They don't argue with you. Finally, the last sign. They don't argue with you. Now, this isn't about silencing people. It's about how your arguments and positions are often so well thought out and logical that others struggle to find a reason to disagree. When you express yourself clearly and confidently, it's hard for others to argue, and they might simply nod in agreement rather than challenge you. This doesn't mean you're intimidating them in a negative way. It means you've earned their respect. Your clarity and strong reasoning make it hard for them to dispute your point, and that's a powerful place to be in. It's a quiet authority that doesn't require forceful speech, just logic and confidence. So, what can we learn from these signs? If you recognize any of these habits in yourself, know that your presence is powerful. You don't have to speak loudly or aggressively to influence those around you. Your calm confidence, discipline, and logical approach already do that. If you want to harness this power even more effectively, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll keep exploring how to use your inner strength to become the best version of yourself. Thanks for watching, and let's keep growing together.